Greetings, geeks and geek girls. It is me, I am back. He finally did it, ladies and gentlemen. He finally did it. Not since the Strenza has Chris Chibnall been able to do another good villain. But he did it today on this week's Doctor Who, which that's what we're here to talk about. Sorry, got a little caught up because I was a little worried that might be a problem with the season. But I think we can officially say that Chris Chibnall is no longer doing bad villains. Last week we had the Demons of Punjab, where the brother was the villain, which I totally forgot about that. That kind of completely undermines my intro. Sorry. But, and this week we had another guy who was a villain. I know that's kind of a spoiler to say a guy was a villain. But, so 50% of the time he does a good villain. I mean, the Rosa Parks episode was awesome, but the villain was very lacking. Anyway, without further ado, let's actually get into the episode itself. And if you haven't seen it, please go see it. It was really good. I really liked it. But there will be spoilers from here on out. So go watch it, then tell me what you think in the comments down below. Alright, so before I do the recap, one more thing. Let me retract my statement earlier and say that Chris Chibnall finally did it. Finally told a great story in the future, in space. Because not that the other stuff was bad. This one was my favorite of the spacey future stories so far. And the episode starts off with the Doctor and crew trying to outrun this thing that's chasing the TARDIS. And then they realize it's a package. The Doctor opens up the package. It's a motherfucking fez. Aw, giving me 11 feels. 11 was my dude. 11 was probably my personal favorite of the new Who. Though I gotta admit, if Jodie's run keeps going like this, she might be battling it out with him by the time that her run is done. Hopefully in at least 2 years. But anyway, so she gets the fez. In the fez, with the fez is a note saying, "Help me." So Yaz's cop instincts kick in, and so they go in to investigate. It leads them to this giant future planetary factory where it's the whole moon of this planet has been turned into a factory that is 90% automated. Why 90%? Because apparently, according to the future laws, each company has to have 10% humans. And that definitely won't come into play later. A lot of things happened in this episode, so I'm going to try to summarize them, but I will obviously miss a lot. So the Doctor and team, they split up trying to investigate and trying to find out what's happening. First, they think it's the evil woman in charge. Then they find out that no, she's actually a good woman. Then they think it's the sleazy manager guy, who's the only other person in charge in this place. And then they find out that he's not the problem. Then the But meanwhile, the team is finding out that there were 6 people dead. 6 people that have gone missing. One of which actually worked with Yaz at the beginning of the episode. So she's kind of feeling bad about it. And so, the doctor, doing some investigation, finds out about the Spindroid? I believe that was his name. I forgot his name now, but he was awesome. The little droid dude. He's like, delivery's all I know. Delivery and taking orders is all I know. The future's hard. But I really liked him. And the doctor made a comment about how some of her best friends are robots, and that made me think of K9. Oh, K9. I miss you. But you can't really have K9 without Sarah Jane. And unfortunately, Elizabeth Slaton has passed away. R.I.P. But anyway, back to this Doctor Who. This episode. They slowly but surely ultimately find out that it was the computer system that called for help from the Doctor, because the computer system knew that there was something. The automated system, which had gained a level of sentience, knew that someone was messing with it, but couldn't stop it, so they did the best thing that they could, which was ask for help from the Doctor. Because apparently in the future the Doctor's infamous. We found that out on the last Spacey Future episode. Though we could kind of surmise it from all of her actions. But anyway, so we ultimately find out that it's a dude. It's the dude. The quirky little dude who looks like honestly, you guys aren't gonna get this reference, but Luke from Old School, that guy with the glasses. Before we found out about all this shit. Anyway, you think that he's this innocent little working dude. He's got a crush on a girl that works there. She kind of likes him back, but they don't really say anything. She's her own little cinnamon muffin. And then she dies. And it was the system who killed her. But the system killed her because we find out that the dude is the mastermind behind this whole fucking thing. And they just killed her to show him what the other people's families who he's killed are going through. And apparently he killed them as like test trials for this big giant master plan to send out like an army of Kerblam buddy bots. I think that's what they were called. And they each have their own bomb in them, which apparently is in bubble wrap. Which I will say, for a split second there, I thought they were going back to like old school Doctor Who and the first ever episode of the reboot where it was the living plastic. I thought the bubble wrap was going to be alive and was going to be that living plastic that had infiltrated the factory. But no, it's just a terrorist, because he is a terrorist. He does not like the fact that it's only 10%. He wants it to be more, because he thinks that eventually it's going to go to 5 and then it's going to go to 1, and he's like human first. So, yeah, he ends up being a little bit of a radical, not caring that the woman that he loved died because of his actions, and the way that he's feeling, hundreds of people will feel. He doesn't care, so much so that the Doctor reverses it so that the bots will explode themselves and they will use the bubble wrap. Thanks to the Spin Droid! Even though I'm pretty sure I'm getting his name wrong. Sorry about that. Tech issues. But anyway, to finish what I was saying, the dude kind of doesn't matter. The dude who's the mastermind behind this whole thing kind of doesn't matter that he's going to go down with the ship and down with his plan and dies in the hail of bombs that he created. Oh yeah, we found out that the people running things are actually, the woman was really super nice, and the dude was kind of a bit of a dick, but also a dickish good guy. But so they're gonna redo everything and make it human operated, which in retrospect the dude kind of succeeded with his plan, because he blew up the factory, so that meant that there's going to be more humans involved. But anyway, it did lead to a great speech from the Doctor, though, when she was trying to convince him. Because Jodie's proven that one of the good superpowers of the Doctor is their speech ability. And Jodie has already proven that she is ace at it. And just to finish up the episode. The team go back to the TARDIS, and Yaz wants to visit the daughter of the dude who she worked with who died, and give her a necklace that the daughter gave to her dad, that her dad kept with him till his death. Which is really sad and everything. Then they went on a kind of a weird note where Graham almost popped the bubble wrap left over from the Fez, which was a little weird. But anyway, like I said, I really liked this episode. There were a lot of personal stuff going on also as well. Like the Doctor, I love her and all of her little quirks here and there. Like her explaining why she has 2 hearts. It's because the Queen gave her an extra one. Because, the good health care. And then also, I hate to admit it, but the Doctor has a little bit of adorableness to her that I love, and kind of maybe a little tiny bit crushing on. But anyway, in this episode, they were like, number 1 rule of the factory, you don't get on the conveyor belts. And you see her face, and they talk about the conveyor belts, and she gets all excited. But then they say no one can ever get on the conveyor belts. And then she just looks so disappointed. But then also, I gotta address the other elephant in the room. This was a big episode for Ryan, and not only about him working at a factory, but also his dyspraxia, which, for those of you who don't know, I have. So, I loved his explanation, though, to the dude who was the ultimate villain at the end, where he's like, I have this coordination thing. It's okay. It just makes life interesting and sometimes real scary, which it does. And also, he was explaining it to the cute little cinnamon roll who had to die. And he tells her that it takes him a while, it takes him longer to learn things, but once he has it, he has it. Which, same. So it's really cool to see. I'm trying to look for a better word, but this is the only word that I can think of, even though I don't know if it really applies here, but representation of dyspraxia in the media. It was really nice to see, but I've been going on for far too long. Thank you guys for watching. Next time you see me will actually be in a couple hours for Supergirl, so hopefully you will tune in. Till next time, and beyond.